All right, let's go with the ITM Taupō Super 440. It's been a big day of racing, couple of Saturday races, been entertaining. And we're joined by Chaz Mostert, who's picked up a race win today. 6 different winners from the last 6 races, so lots going on. And the Shell V-Power boys are here from the Jet Courier Mustangs. We had a pair of DJR cars on the podium last year on Saturday. We've done it again here today, so well done to Will and to Brodie. Thanks for the entertainment, fellas. Chaz, you've talked about, in the lead up to this event, of New Zealand being a bit of a second home with the in-laws over here, and you gave them a bit of a champagne spray at the end of that one. So how special is it for you to get a win in New Zealand?
Yeah, really special. I think it's for us drivers, even like last year when we come here, seeing it for the first time and seeing all the fans on the track to town and realising, how much supercars is loved in New Zealand is something really cool. So like I said, last year, I'd love to see a second round happen over here, a bit of a back-to-back or a double-header because, we have such a core part of our fans from New Zealand supporting the Kiwi drivers and also supporting our hard racing. So it's just special here too. Taupō, the back straight, something pretty cool. It reminds me a little bit of Pukekohe coming onto the straight where, you've got a hill and heaps of people sitting on there. So, it's pretty cool. Even when you're racing hard, 10, 20 laps to go, and you're having a little look right and seeing how many people from that whole back straight are sitting on that hill is really cool.
We talked on the grid about the speed that you found on that super soft tyre, which might not have been there in previous years. Did you believe you could win on that super soft tyre here coming into this event?
I didn't really think about it, to be honest. Put all the past stuff behind us because I knew we were coming here with a fairly different car. So, I was probably surprised to be starting on the front row, and I think a little bit was that down to the tyre choice that we had. I mean, we were pretty brave in the Part 1 qualifying. There was about 3 cars that only saved a set going in there. So, could have simply been 11th and by getting knocked out by 2 positions. So, we needed to work on the car a little bit, which we tuned up between the 2 parts. But, Brodie did a fantastic job to put it on pole, and I was just happy to be in some clear track. So, had a good start and trucked along from there, and I thought at probably 2/3 through the first stint, I'm like, I really can win this thing. The car's doing everything that I needed to do. And then the last third of the stints, I was in the hurt locker.
Well done, mate. There'll be plenty more in the room for you, but I'll take it over to Will. This is really good signs, isn't it, for Shell V-Power Racing? I know you guys were quick here last year, but do you feel like the forward momentum with Brodie joining the team is very real right now?
Oh, yeah, it's real. It's real. So, we did have a good weekend here last year, but it doesn't mean anything. I know it looks like a coincidence, but I think, the performance sporadically, the last, few events, considering we're at like a massively new group, even 2 new mechanics on my car this weekend, there's a lot of change, but it's really, 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 really positive. At certain times of every weekend this year, I felt like mega glimmers, like with the car, of its potential. So obviously we're both in the top 5 there at the Grand Prix in the last race, and I think today's been a really positive day for us. I know Brodie's disappointed, but I think this is the first so many podiums for him in these colours, and I'm thrilled to share it with him. Just really, really cool to be a part of the group at the moment. There's fresh energy, and such big drive by Brodie, such an amazing teammate, such an amazing driver for me now to keep digging deep and keep me on my toes as the old boy. Keep learning and keep trying to extract every little bit out of myself. I'm bloody loving it.
How much were you two working together? Because I could hear on the radio Brodie saying, get up there and get into the back of Brock and see if we can both get by him. So what sort of teamwork was going on between the two of you?
Yeah, well, we connect our cars, so we were talking directly. So sorry, I didn't hear that. But I might have had a little, I think Tom did say something about that. But I'm like, I got this under control, mate. I got this under control. So... But no, that was fun. And I didn't know. Obviously, I had a feeling that Brodie was carrying some damage of some kind. I didn't know at first. I thought, has he helped me get it up to this Red Bull car? And then I thought, no, he's in a bit of trouble. Then at the end there, I was pumped to see him be able to get up there alongside Brock and join me up here today, even with the damage he had. It's pretty awesome.
Thank you, Will. Brodie, it hasn't taken you long to get your feet under the desk at Shell V-Power Racing. You seem to be right at home there. And just how much are you enjoying working with Will and the organisation and getting these results on 3rd weekend in?
Yeah, it's been fantastic for the whole Shell V-Power Racing team, and to be running the Jet Couriers colours, this weekend, and to get a double podium is just fantastic with all of our owners here. So it's just been a bit of a whirlwind weekend. Had a bit of a shocker on the first race, and was honestly quite surprised, with the pace late in the first stint in that last race there. But I was really stoked coming across the line. Sort of got over a lot of stuff that happened throughout the race when I saw Davo get a podium. So he had a big smile on his face when he got out of the car. So it was pretty cool to see.
We heard what you said to Jess in Victory Lane about the move with Chaz. Does it make it even harder when you got a 15-second penalty the race earlier? Does that sort of sour you a little bit further, and the fact that you got pinged earlier in the day and then you ended up on the wrong side of it on this one today?
Yeah, I think we're just racing sort of half baked at the moment. In some cases, the rules are still there, and we have people that just choose when to adjudicate them, or at least one person. So. It's sort of, a bit interesting, and it was front to rear, and then it turned into a big tank slapper because I was trying to not spin out, and then we interlock wheels, which many drivers have said that the wheels need to change for a long time. So I think Chaz was missing 2 spokes, and my wheel was missing 3 spokes, and the whole wheel edge, so it becomes a bit of a safety concern. So it's a little bit disappointing, but I'm just really happy for the whole group to get a double podium, and the fans want to see races like that. That's really hard, and I'm fine to race like that. It's just that the rules need to always be consistent, and just because it's great for TV, there's plenty of good racing that happens on further back, but some people just get penalised for it.
Roger. All right, thank you. Let's open it up to the journos in the room.
Chaz, I know you said something, I think, on the TV about, being fired up after, getting turned around. I guess we almost driving a bit angry today, just to make the most of this opportunity?
No, not really. I was really enjoying the clear air for once. It's been last 2 rounds have been kind of not qualifying towards a pointy end. So I had 2 great qualifying positions today. I was stoked with 6 in the first one, and then to go front row, I was really blown over the moon. So the racing's so different in that top 5. But then even today, I was running 6th or 7th, and then just someone made a small mistake behind, and next I'm facing the wrong way in a sprint race, and P19 at the time. So it's really, really hard. Everyone's racing super hard out there, and we know mistakes do happen when you overstep it a little bit. But it's just you have to take the opportunities you can when you're going to get a trophy or try and get on the podium, because as you see, every driver out there is more than capable, and every team as well. And that's what the beautiful thing about Gen 3 is it's the closest the cars have ever been in probably Supercars history.
And, Davo talked about, having his teammate push him along. I guess, Woody's had a pretty good run lately. I mean, do you feel like he's, making you step up as well?
Yeah, Woody's, this year he's come with a whole different demeanour. You see how much weight he's lost in the off-season. He's really pushing himself hard. And I think just like any driver, when you have your first year and you're just trying to learn new tracks, feel what a new car is, it was probably pretty hard for Woody because he come in at Gen 3 in the second year. He's probably a little bit behind the difference feeling for what his Gen 2 Super 2 car felt. And I think this year he's just come with a lot calmer head and letting the car just do a lot of the work instead of trying to drive the car forward. And you kind of see it this weekend, even in practice. He's been pretty much faster than me most of the weekend, except for that super soft qualifying. So, he's, this podium he got in the first race, that's going to give him a lot of confidence. I remember what it was like getting my first podium. You just kind of take it from there and you just keep building.
Chaz, just picking up from what Brodie was saying before about the driving standards and the way it's being adjudicated, what's your feeling on how all that sits right now?
We had a bit of a chat with Beto before the start of the weekend, and I agree with a lot of stuff that he was saying that, probably a lot of drivers are giving it flack a little bit from round 1 to 2 about being outcome-based, but if we don't have an outcome-based type thing, then how do you justify what type of penalty you give? Obviously, Brodie's on the wrong end of it in this one where, was it my intention to hit him in the rear and purposely do it? No. Did I feel like I had a run in 3 to 4? Yes. But did I expect him to move slightly at the last second and I couldn't, get out of the way or get out of it at that point for the closing speed? No, I couldn't. So I don't go out there intentionally to race like that. If you were trying to move people out of the way, you would see people into the last corner where you're hard on the brakes, or into the first corner and you're just purely trying to move them out and as far away to try and clear them. So wasn't my intention. I'm glad it kind of, on my side of things, it got left play on. lap later, Brodie got back down the inside of me at turn 4, and I thought he was gone, but then he went pretty deep into 4 and went off and gave me another opportunity to bang it down the inside of 5. So I raced as hard as I could. I knew he had better pace, so I had to be super aggressive in that opening start of that stint, or I wasn't going to have a chance to sit here today.
Do you also share the concern about the wheel design and how that sort of stands up when the racing is this robust? Because I believe you copped a bit of wheel damage as well.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal. Don't want to see wheels kind of interlocking like that, because it could have simply been a little bit more for Brodie and he wouldn't be sitting here today. Other than that, how much and how hard the shunt was between the two wheels. I mean, when you rub panels a little bit, it's not, you feel like someone just, like bumper cars, someone pushes you, but when a wheel hits, like my wheel kind of got snapped out of my hand at the same time, and my toe went all out in the front as well. But it's not great how the spokes are interlocking. So I second what Brodie is saying. Need to look at trying to do something with that in the future.
Yeah, hi, just about the tyre deg. I mean, talking to all you guys towards each stint, it seemed like, it was like driving on marbles. Do you think the 30 plus different patches, as somewhere described as a patchwork quilt of the Taupō circuit, made it even more difficult on the super softs, or is it just the super softs are too soft?
I think it's very track related here. I feel like we come here last year and this year and knowing that there's going to be quite a lot of tyre deg, and generally when we go to SMP or any of those places where you've got a really coarse surface, you know that you've got to be super gentle on the throttle. Like between, turn 1 and where you come through 7 and you get on that new surface and the car hooks back up again, and then the rest you tippy-toe around. But people can say it's, let's resurface the whole track, but this is what makes great racing, great character. Different strategies. You'll see tomorrow will be completely different, because we go back to a 200k race, you get 2 stops. It's, with that tyre deg, you can try and do something around strategy. When it's very low tyre deg, it's probably harder for us to race because it's a bit more follow the leader.
A few quick ones. First, I love a format chat. Will, a couple of races today, qualifying the way it was. It seemed like run and gun just all day. There was supercars action. Did you enjoy today's format?
Well, it's not about me, is it? Doesn't matter. Does everyone else enjoy it? Yeah, I think, it's action. For the people paying for their tickets to sit on the hill, they want action. So it was pretty, I won't say tiring, but it was just go. It was crazy. But no, I think it's good. That's what everyone wants. So we just deal with it, and yeah, I'm glad we're only doing one tomorrow. But I think it works for sure.
Chaz, your thoughts on today's format?
Yeah, I thought it was really challenging for the drivers, especially since we haven't had a super soft pretty much throughout the whole year. So, I knew it was a big concern going back-to-back qualies, and, starting on, I would have thought the grippier tyre that we've seen in a little bit in testing, but, Elder tested all the drivers out and it shook up the order a little bit, I would say. So, I was all for it, and then trying to nurse that race, it was just really old school, like a lot of fun, trying not to slide off, and then when you have that much tyre deg, it's generally exciting. So, and it makes the engineers work really hard too.
Brodie, thoughts on the format today, mate?
Yeah, I think the format's great. I think the more racing that we can do throughout a day, the better. It's great that we had a pretty good crowd here today in Taupō, and that's what they pay to come see, is they pay to come see us racing. So, yeah, it was a good race, and it was it's quite funny that that we're back on the old tyre and we had a bit of a spicy race like that one. So, really interesting.
To these two fellas, you're sitting second and third in the JR Trophy standings this weekend. Matty Payne's got a bit of a lead there, so a bit of an outside chance. But just your thoughts coming into tomorrow, at least in contention, Will, for one of the more coveted trophies?
Thanks for writing us off, Chad. I'd really you're a bit of an outside chance, Have you ever seen the favourite win Melbourne Cup, mate?
Really? Maybe
well, that means Matty's gone then, so we're good. I won't lie. It's one that everyone says, but yeah, it means an awful amount. Like to me, all trophies mean a lot, but JR he was a good mate. Raced with him, and twice I've led going into the last race here. Once in 2013, once in 22. I thought had one hand on it. We had out in front, had the pit stop issue. But that's all right. It's cool as long as whoever wins it, respects it and really what it's all about, and what a guy JR was. And it's good that I'm in contention for tomorrow. Bring it on. That's cool to hear. So we'll fight with everything we got tomorrow, and that certainly means a lot to me personally if I can get in amongst that.
Hate to be that guy, Chaz, but maybe getting turned around today could even have cost you a chance at maybe getting that to tomorrow. But is there a bit of motivation to win one of the bigger trophies you can win in supercars tomorrow?
Yeah, like second what Davo said, we put our best foot forward tomorrow and try our best. It's all going to come down to qualifying a little bit again, but if you don't quite qualify in the order, there's a bit more strategy to play with tomorrow, which I think is exciting. So, we'll just see how we go. If you've already written us off, Chad, it makes me even feel hungrier. So thanks for that.
I look forward to you rubbing it in my face tomorrow. Guys, thank you very much. Well done today, and see you back here again.
Thanks.